Hello student. Today our topic is uses of present continuous tense. So first of all we should know the pattern of present continuous tense. As you know, the present continuous tense is formed by this pattern: subject plus am, is, are. That means be verb of the present tense plus verb 1 plus ing plus extension or others. So as we know, present continuous tense is used to express the action which is taking place at the moment of speaking, which is not yet complete. That means the present continuous tense is used to denote the action in the actual present time, which is not complete, that is incomplete. It is still going on at the time of speaking. So you see, subject, the pattern of the present continuous tense is subject plus am, is, are plus verb 1 plus ing and plus extension or others. So you see some examples. She is reading English. She is reading English. That means the action of the verb read is going on. It is incomplete. The actual present time, it is. The action in the actual present time, which is not complete, that means it is incomplete. The action is going on. So it is present continuous tense. And another example you see, mother is cooking food. Mother is cooking food. Cooking verb is going on. The action of the verb cook is incomplete. That means it is still going on. Hence the verb cook here is in the present continuous tense. So from these two examples, we have come to know that the action which is taking place at the moment of speaking, which is not yet complete, this tense is used to denote the action in the actual present time, which is not complete. That means it is incomplete. So it is the present continuous tense, and this has been discussed before. So the present continuous tense is formed with the be verb of the present tense and the verb plus ing. So that means subject plus present tense, be verb of the present tense, am, is, are plus verb 1 plus ing and plus extension or others. And you say again, you may say they are playing football now. They are playing football now. The play verb is going on and it is incomplete, hence it is the sentence of present continuous tense. And so another most important use of present continuous tense I am going to discuss now. The present continuous tense is used to indicate future action which is already fixed. Present continuous tense is used to indicate the future action which is already fixed. That means you may say which has already been planned or arranged. So this is called arranged future. You see some example. I am going to London tomorrow. I am going to London tomorrow. That means the action is used to indicate future action, and it is present continuous tense, but it is used to indicate the future action which is already fixed. That means I am going to London tomorrow. So here the date is already fixed. Tomorrow, the time and or the date is already fixed. Hence the present continuous tense, this sentence is the present continuous tense, but the meaning of future tense. That means the time or the date is already fixed. And another example you see, he is flying to Chennai tonight. He is flying to Chennai tonight. That means he will go to Chennai tonight. It is the present continuous tense, but the meaning is future tense, and that means the action is fixed. The present continuous tense is used to indicate some future action which has already been fixed or planned or arranged. So he is flying to Chennai tonight. That means he has already bought the ticket of the flight to go to Chennai tonight. And you may see another example. we are going to theater. We are going to theater tonight. That means we have already bought the ticket for the theater. Hence, this future tense indicate the future action. This present continuous tense indicate the future action which has already been planned or arranged or fixed. And, so, in this tenses, some adverbs of time is mentioned, such as today, tonight, next Monday, tomorrow, etc. So the most important uses of present continuous tense is that there are some verbs that usually do not take continuous forms. That means verb plus ing. There are some verbs in English grammar that usually do not take continuous forms. That means the sum of non-continuous verbs, those verbs are called verbs of perception. You see, verbs of perception, and you may call also it non-conclusive verbs. So there are some non-continuous verbs which are called verbs of perception, or it may also be called non-conclusive verbs. So such verbs are used in simple present tense instead of present continuous tense. That means we cannot use such types of verbs in present continuous tense in general. Usually, those verbs are not used in present continuous tense, and those verbs are used in simple present tense. And such verbs we may call non-continuous verbs, which verbs do not take continuous forms. That means verb plus ing, and you remember it as verbs of perception or non-conclusive verbs. The verbs, non-continuous verbs, are called verbs of perception or non-conclusive verbs. Thus, verbs may be divided into 5. You see, number 1, verbs of sense. Verbs of senses. Verbs of sense, key, what, see, hear, smell, notice, etc. And number 2, verbs of feeling. Verbs of feeling and emotion. Verbs of feeling and emotion, such as you see, love, like, hate, wish, want, hope, etc. And number 3, you may write, number 3, verbs of possession. Verbs of possession, verbs of possession, that means own, O-W-E, and belong, possess, contain, consist, etc., etc. And number 4, you see, number 4, verbs of appearing, verbs of appearing. Number 4, verbs of appearing, such as appear, look, seem. And another verbs of thinking or mental activity. Verbs of thinking or mental activity. Verbs of thinking or mental activity. And such verbs, you can say think is a verb. Think, know, understand, believe, agree, and such, etc. So there are some other non-continuous verbs. These types of verbs are not used in present continuous tense, and these verbs are used in simple present tense instead of present continuous tense. So we have found verbs of changes, verbs of feeling and emotion, verbs of possession, verbs of appearing, and verbs of thinking or mental activity. So these verbs are not used in present continuous tense, and these are used in simple present tense. The meaning is present continuous tense, but the pattern or formation is simple present tense. You see some example. Number 1, I see a bird on the tree. I see a bird on the tree. It is true because see, verbs of changes, non-continuous verb, the verb see cannot be used in present continuous tense, so it always usually or generally used in simple present tense. So if you write it like I am seeing a bird on the tree, it is not true, but it is true. It is correct, it is not correct. Hence we have seen that see is used as simple present tense, but the meaning may be present continuous tense. So see, I see a bird on the tree. I am seeing a bird on the tree, it is not correct. And another verb, you see verbs of feeling or emotion. Love, I love you. Usually the love verbs of perception are non-conclusive verbs. That means non-continuous verb. These verbs do not take continuous form. That means verb plus ing. So it is correct. I love you, and we always use I love you. He loves me, and she loves me, etc. But if you write it like I am loving you, it is wrong. So there are many examples. So lack of time, I am not able to write such type of example. But you remember only there are some verbs which do not take continuous forms. That means the non-continuous verbs. Those verbs are non-continuous verbs, and such type of non-continuous verbs are called verbs of perception or non-conclusive verbs. So, but these verbs may be used in the present continuous tense with a sense of meaning, that is in the technical sense. In some technical senses, these verbs are used in present continuous tense. We know these verbs are not used in present continuous tense generally. Usually these verbs do not used in present continuous tense. That means they do not take continuous form. That means verb plus ing. But in technical sense, these verbs may be used in the present continuous tense with a sense of meaning. That is in technical sense. You see, for example, you see, Dr. Button is seeing the patient. Dr. Button is seeing the patient. So, a doctor actually observe or see the patient very carefully. So, this verb is used in technical sense in the present continuous tense. So, Dr. Button is seeing the patient. And one more example, you see, Justice N.C. Dotto is hearing the case. Justice N.C. Dotto, okay. Justice N.C. Dotto is hearing the case. So here a case is hearing, a case is being heard by by Justice N.C. Dotto. It is in technical sense, because a case, whenever a plaintiff or a claimant files a case on the court, then the justice or judges hear the case. So here is a non-continuous verb, but sometimes in technical sense, here is used in present continuous tense. So a preliminary or initial statement is taken by the judges in the court, and that means the judges or justice hear the case very attentively. So it is in technical sense. Non-conclusive verb or non-continuous verb may be used in present continuous tense also. So I think all of you have understand the uses of present continuous tense. So there is a difference between simple present and present continuous tense. You see, you hear attentively, there are difference between present continuous and simple present tenses. Among them, most one is, I am telling you now that the present continuous tense describes the actual present time. We know from the definition, the present continuous tense describes the present moment now. It denotes an action in progress. We have found it from the definition of the present continuous tense. As for example, you see, she is reading the Ramayana. She is reading the Ramayana. It is still going on. That means it is progressive. It is incomplete, going on. And the actual present moment now. Present continuous tense describes the actual present moment now, and it denotes an action in progress. But on the other hand, simple present tense does not really describe a present moment, present action. Simple present tense does not really describe a present action. It is used for general statement and to describe action that are habitual. You see an example. She reads the Ramayana every morning. She reads the Ramayana every morning. It is her habits. Subject plus verb 1. And we have found the difference between present continuous and simple present tense. And so I will again meet you with the uses of present perfect tense. So goodbye.